Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the June Keys Penguin Habitat. My name's Michelle. I'm joined today with Kelly, and we're giving our lunchtime feed for our penguins. Now, a popular question that's often asked of us is, what do we feed our penguins? Well, they get a mixture of herring and capelin, and each penguin is very distinctive on what they like to eat. Certain penguins will only eat one type of fish. Others may eat a couple, but it only depends on certain times of the year. Now, you might notice that some of our penguins look a little disheveled. And that's a good thing because they are going through something called molt. Right there in the center, that's a stare. He's one of our youngest penguins. And a stare has kind of gotten a little bit larger. What happens is they tend to bulk up. They'll gain about 1 to 2 kilos, and they will just kind of sit up on deck and wait for all those feathers to come off. And it's what's known as a catastrophic or explosive molt, because they'll sit up here on the beach for close to 2 to 3 weeks while all those feathers go off their body, which leaves them with the downy undercoat so that their new feathers can grow in. Now, our youngest penguin, Gats, the best looking penguin right now in the exhibit is Gats because he just recently went through his molt. Now, for those that are on explore.org, you might see us going through our phones. Now, we're not texting or doing anything like that. Our phones have pictures of the penguins on it with their names because each penguin has a specific spot pattern on their chest. Now, normally, we would just look for their bands or their bracelets, because on their bracelets has their code, their number, and that tells us who it is. There's Gats right there. And when they get ready for molt, like I was saying, they swell up to such an extent that we actually have to take those bands off. And so we rely on our memory. For myself, that's a little bit hard. So what we do is I go through my pictures and make sure that I'm giving which penguin the food that they need to get. So you'll notice Gats just came up. He looks a lot more sleeker. His coat looks really quite handsome. It's that nice kind of blackish gray. That's what we want to see, and that's what we will see later on. I think he's going to go down and visit the chicks that are in the backstage area. And there he goes. Thank you so much, Gats, for making an appearance. But like I was saying, we go through and we scroll through because Kelly and I are taking count of how much each penguin is eating. It's really important during this time of year to make sure that everybody is getting, number one, their basic allotment of food, but also we want to make sure that they're each getting their own vitamins and or medications, and we don't want to double dose on an animal, so we're very careful on when we're giving out the food. So we will sit here, go through our little phone so we can get their pictures. I match them up, I feed them, and then I tell Kelly who got what. But it is definitely a team effort when we're feeding these guys because we do have 23 penguins. We have 20 on exhibit and 3 in back. Right now, the chicks are pretty much no longer chicks. We're calling them juveniles. They are about the same size as our normal penguins, the adult penguins. The only difference is they look a little bit different because they don't have those distinctive double black bands. Now soon, within this next week, we're going to slowly start acclimating them to their new exhibit. The way we do that is through controlled introductions. We'll bring them out on exhibit, but we'll take the penguins that tend to be a little bit more problematic, maybe a little aggressive, and put them in the back area so that when the chicks come out here, they're actually in a nice, calm environment. We'll do things like tape up the windows, so the first time that they come in here, they've never seen acrylic before. So we put blue tape on the windows so they understand that there's something there and they don't try to swim right through it. And we'll actually be suited up to make sure that if something does go awry, we can actually mitigate that problem as soon as possible. Now, like I was saying, we have penguins in all different forms of molt. You'll notice, like I said, Astera is in full molt. We have a lot of penguins in what we call pre-molt. They look like they have a lot of crusty feathers. It looks like tufts of feathers are coming off their back. They have a general brownish color to them instead of the black, and that's all indicative of an animal getting into pre-molt. During pre-molt, they're going to be eating a lot of food. Like I said, they'll gain about 1 to 2 kilos. And during that time, that's when they're getting ready. And once they hit that point where they're ready to molt, they'll stay up on deck. Now, we know that it does get a little warm here. These animals are temperate penguins. They don't need ice, but we do want to make it as comfortable as possible. So we have mister systems that we utilize for our penguins. After we're done with the feeding, those mister systems will go on. Just in case it gets a little warm, they will always have a nice cool breeze to keep them comfortable. Well, at this point, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. I would like to say thank you all for coming to the aquarium, because your admission does help us take care of all of our animals. So for myself, Kelly, and all of our penguins, we hope you enjoy your day here at the Aquarium of the Pacific, and we hope to see you again real soon.